Welcome back to Miles Reads. I'm Miles. Today, we're diving into coaching for performance, a practical guide to unlocking human potential. Let us start with a classic story about Socrates. A young man once asked him, "What is the right attitude for learning?" Socrates led him to the sea and pushed his head underwater. The young man, not a strong swimmer, thrashed desperately, fighting to get his head above the surface. After pulling him ashore, Socrates asked, "When you were underwater, what did you desire most?" The young man gasped, "To breathe, of course." Socrates replied, "That is the passion you must bring to learning." This story, though familiar, gets to the heart of this book. Socrates never gave direct answers. Instead, he used masterful questions to guide people toward their own solutions. This is the essence of high-performance coaching. A great coach doesn't give orders, they ask insightful questions that spark self-discovery and unlock a person's path to mastery. The author, Sir John Whitmore, was a celebrated professional race car driver before G.R.O.W, founding a company that trained athletes and corporate leaders, becoming a monumental figure in the coaching field. Of his 5 books, Coaching for Performance is the most influential, selling over 500,000 copies worldwide in more than 20 languages. Whitmore's discovery of his coaching method was a happy accident. His company was running a training session when they realized they were short on tennis instructors for a group of eager clients. In a pinch, they asked several ski instructors to fill in, dressing them in tennis gear and handing them rackets to look the part. The result was astonishing. The clients coached by the ski instructors improved more significantly than those taught by professional tennis coaches. This led to a powerful insight. The core principles of coaching are universal and not confined to a specific discipline. Whitmore refined this observation into a versatile coaching framework that proved just as effective in corporate training as it was in sports. Many leaders today want their companies to operate like sports teams. This means the leader must act as a coach, empowering employees to think for themselves and solve problems independently, rather than running for help at the first sign of trouble. So how do you unlock that potential? The most effective way is through Socratic wisdom, asking the right questions consistently. Let us explore this by looking at the true nature of coaching and the specific questioning techniques involved. When we think of a coach, we often picture someone who teaches us techniques. If you can't ski, a coach shows you how to balance and control your speed. If you can't drive, an instructor teaches you how to shift gears and parallel park. But if you think about it, the technical skills a coach can teach are surprisingly few. A ski coach might tell you to bend your knees and stay centered, but the rest is up to you practicing, falling, and getting back up until it clicks. Driving is the same. Do you really need a coach to teach you how to use the gas pedal or a turn signal? Any experienced driver can tell you that. Ultimately, mastery comes from getting behind the wheel and finding your own feel for the road. Does this mean coaches are unimportant? Not at all. The author argues that we often misunderstand a coach's role, seeing them as a master who imparts their special skills. In reality, a coach's primary function isn't to teach technique, but to guide and awaken the innate learning ability within each person. Think about how we learn to walk. No one taught us. Our parents simply created a safe space, offered encouragement, and we figured it out naturally. Consider Michael Phelps. His coach couldn't swim nearly as fast as he could, so what technical secrets could he possibly offer? Yet, that coach had a unique method for consistently unlocking Phelps's potential, helping him shatter one record after another. From this perspective, a coach is not a consultant, teacher, or mentor. They don't provide knowledge or solutions. Instead, a coach acts as a flawless mirror, giving the performer precise, real-time feedback. They create an environment for immediate learning and help manage the performer's psychological state. When this is done right, a person's powerful inner drive is activated, leading to self-motivated improvement. The coach, therefore, plays a critical role. They work with a person's inner world, guiding them to not only surpass the coach, but to break through their own perceived limits. The author concludes that coaching boils down to 2 key functions: increasing awareness and building responsibility. Master these 2, and confidence and motivation will naturally follow. First, let's look at raising awareness. What is awareness? It's the ability to perceive your own physical and mental state, as well as your surroundings. When someone is drunk, for example, they might lose control or even black out with no memory of what they said or how they got home. This is a state of extremely low awareness. In contrast, imagine waking up refreshed after a good breakfast. The world seems vivid. You're attuned to your emotions, and you notice every small detail around you. This is a state of high awareness. In short, awareness is knowing what you are experiencing and what is happening around you. The challenge is that awareness is a personal experience. How can a coach, no matter how perceptive, enhance someone else's? The author argues it comes down to asking detailed questions. For instance, if I point to a flower on the table and ask what color it is, you might say red. That's a low awareness answer. But what if I followed up with what kind of red is it? Is it crimson, scarlet, ruby, or magenta? To answer that, you'd have to look closely, maybe even compare it to a color chart. Suppose you determine it's magenta. Then I might ask, is it always magenta, or does the color change throughout the day? A truly committed person might set up a camera to film the flower for a full day, reviewing the footage to see if the morning light changes its hue compared to the evening. Notice what happened. The precision of your answer is directly related to the precision of my question. Your awareness is shaped by my inquiry. This explains why the ski instructors were such effective tennis coaches. They didn't bark commands like, watch the ball, or fix your footwork. They didn't know the proper technique themselves. Instead, they could only ask descriptive questions. They might ask a player, when the ball came toward you, which way was it spinning? What was its trajectory? Or to return that spin, what is another approach you could have tried? They weren't giving orders, they were guiding the player to observe details and devise their own solutions. If a player's form was off, the ski coach wouldn't correct it directly. Instead, they would describe the incorrect motion, perhaps even providing objective data, acting like a precise measuring tool that constantly keeps the player aware of their actions and the results. This non-judgmental, non-directive approach is incredibly effective. First, the player must focus intensely to answer such specific questions. Second, these descriptive observations build confidence without damaging self-esteem. Finally, this immediate feedback loop pulls the player into a state of flow, immersed in the joy of solving the problem. To raise awareness, asking specific, descriptive, and non-judgmental questions is key. That is a coach's first job. The second job is to build responsibility. And the key word here is build, because too many coaches unintentionally take that responsibility away from the performer. As we've said, many coaches love to give commands. You should do this. You have to do that. The hidden problem here is that if you follow the coach's instruction and fail, your first instinct is to blame the coach for giving you a bad method. The subtext is, you believe the coach is responsible for your success, not you. This is a critical distinction. Imagine a manager telling an employee, Alex, go get the ladder from that room over there. Alex says, okay, but finds no ladder in the room and returns empty-handed. The manager is furious. Do I have to spell everything out for you? Why didn't you look somewhere else? Alex feels wronged. You gave me unclear instructions, and now you're blaming me? Now, let's rephrase the manager's approach. We need a ladder. I think there might be one in that room. Who can go grab it? Alex volunteers, I'll get it. When he finds the room empty, he will almost certainly look elsewhere. Why? Because he has taken responsibility for the task. He made a commitment, and for the sake of his own integrity, he's going to find that ladder. Simply giving someone the power of choice fosters a greater sense of ownership. The author shares a personal example. He was hired to run a corporate training session scheduled after work hours. Unsurprisingly, most employees were unenthusiastic, forced to be there by a boss who threatened fines for non-attendance. The room was filled with yawning and phone scrolling. Whitmore took the stage and asked, "Are you all here voluntarily?" A few brave souls said no. "Okay," he continued. "Congratulations. You've all shown up and fulfilled your obligation to the company. Now, I'd like you to do one small thing for me. You have a choice. You can spend the next 2 hours actively learning and leave with new knowledge, or you can just sit here and tune out. Please write your choice on a slip of paper and hand it to me. I promise I won't tell your boss what you chose. Suddenly, the atmosphere in the room shifted. A wave of relief washed over the group. After writing their notes, the vast majority of employees engaged enthusiastically with the course. True responsibility is born from choice, and that choice is often prompted by question. Commands diminish responsibility. The more robotic the instruction, the less ownership the performer feels. Only when people feel truly responsible for their own growth will their motivation and initiative be fully unleashed. So we've covered the importance of raising awareness and building responsibility by focusing on a person's inner state rather than just correcting their actions. But how do you do this in practice? The author provides a powerful tool, the G.R.O.W model. It consists of 4 steps: goal, reality, options, and will. To illustrate, let's imagine I'm coaching Alex on his goal to lose weight. Here is how a dialogue could establish an effective goal. Alex, what result are you hoping to achieve by losing weight? I just want to be thinner. I'm too heavy, and my old pants don't fit anymore. How thin is thinner? What is a specific number in pounds? I'm 180 pounds now. It would be amazing to get down to 140. Okay, so that's a 40-pound loss. How long do you plan to take to reach that goal? As fast as possible, maybe in 2 months. Losing 40 pounds in 2 months means 20 pounds a month. Do you need to work during this time? Yeah, of course. Losing 20 pounds a month would likely require extreme dieting, leaving you weak and possibly affecting your job performance. Are you willing to risk your job to lose the weight that fast? Oh no, I can't do that. I need my job. So, can we adjust that goal? Okay, what about 8 months? 8 months to lose 40 pounds is 5 pounds per month. To do that, you could eat 2 healthy meals a day, but you'd have to cut out starches, snacks, and all sugary drinks. You will feel hungry often. Is that a price you're willing to pay for a healthier body? Yes, I am. Great. So if you're 180 now, 1 month from today, your target weight will be 175. How will you primarily achieve that? I could go running or hit the gym. Actually, I have a gym membership I've barely used. Using the gym is a great idea. Your membership won't go to waste. How long do you plan to run on the treadmill each day? About an hour a day. At what speed? Around 5 miles per hour, so 5 miles in an hour. Perfect. So your goal is to lose 40 pounds in 8 months. By this time next month, you'll be at 175 pounds. You'll do this by running 5 miles at the gym every day. Is that correct? Yes, that's right. Excellent. Let's write that down as our agreement. This dialogue transformed a vague wish into a concrete, measurable, and achievable plan that Alex now feels responsible for. The initial lose 40 pounds in 2 months plan was ineffective because it was unrealistic. Once the goal is set, the next step is to analyze the reality by objectively describing the current situation. The dialogue might continue. Alex, what is your exact weight right now? The last time I checked, I was 180. I have a scale right here. Let's get an exact number. Wow, 184. Are you sure this scale is accurate? It's brand new. It seems you'll need some extra effort to hit your goal. Let's talk about your eating habits. How many meals do you eat a day? About 3. But if I stay up late, I might have a late night snack. Do you eat anything besides those meals? Yeah, I'll have snacks, cookies, things like that while I'm working. Have you been eating a lot recently? Now that you mention it, I think so. I tend to eat more when I'm feeling down. What kind of things make you feel down? Work stress, like when I'm on a tight deadline. I eat to cope, but I also eat more to celebrate when I finish my work on time and feel happy. Okay, so it sounds like you eat more whether you're happy or sad. Is that right? Yeah, I guess so. If you had to cut out 2 meals, which would they be? I could skip breakfast and dinner. What would you do when you feel hungry? I could chew some gum or drink more water. That should help. Okay, now let's talk about running. When was the last time you ran? The last time? That was probably 3 months ago. Why did you stop? My whole body ached after that one run. I wanted to go back the next day, but my calves were so sore I could barely stand. Did you make it to work the next day? Yeah, I did. So you couldn't stand? Or was it just very painful? Okay, I'm exaggerating a bit, but it really hurt. So that means you are capable of pushing through that pain, right? Yeah, I am. Did you do any stretching after your run? Oh, I don't think I did. If it hurts again after running this time, what will you do? I could do some cool downs and stretches to relax my muscles. That would probably help. Do you do any other exercise? I sometimes take the stairs at work, and I usually walk home after. Okay, so your current reality is you eat an average of 4 meals a day, plus extra when your emotions are high or low. Your last run was 3 months ago, which you stopped because of muscle soreness. You occasionally take the stairs and walk home from work. Is that an accurate summary? Yes, it is. This conversation provided a comprehensive analysis of Alex's situation. Notice that I didn't use any judgmental language. I didn't say eating 4 meals a day is bad, or quitting running shows a lack of willpower. I simply mirrored the reality. Once the current situation is laid out so clearly, the path forward becomes obvious. This objective description gives Alex a firm place to stand and start making changes. With a clear goal and an honest assessment of reality, the next steps, options, and will, or what's next, fall into place. What needs to be done, how, and when become as clear as a map. The daunting task of losing weight is transformed into a manageable game with a start, a finish, detailed feedback, and an achievable outcome. This is how you build a person's confidence to complete the mission. When someone is confident they can achieve a goal and they understand the immense benefits it will bring, does a coach still need to hold their hand? Absolutely not. That person will find their own creative ways to succeed. That is the power of a great coach. To sum up, this book redefines high-performance coaching. The goal is not to teach skills, but to help people raise their awareness and build their sense of responsibility. This is achieved by asking powerful questions, often structured around a model like G.R.O.W, to help individuals clarify their situation, devise the best strategy, and take effective action. I have two final thoughts on this. First, everyone has limitless potential waiting to be unlocked. I firmly believe that coaching will become a major industry in the future, expanding beyond sports to serve the general public. A great coach needs more than just Socratic questioning skills. They need patience, impartiality, empathy, and a deep understanding of psychology. For anyone drawn to this field, the future is incredibly bright. Second, unlocking potential will become essential for every business. A corporate leader must learn to communicate like a coach to maximize their team's performance. You might say, but I can't find a professional coach, and my boss certainly doesn't talk like one. What should I do? Once you master this method of questioning, you can apply it to yourself. After all, no one knows you better than you do. You can and should become your own coach. To close, I highly recommend the movie Coach Carter. It's a fantastic story about a basketball coach who uses his own methods to lead a struggling team to victory. It's a perfect demonstration of what an outstanding coach looks like. You'll be inspired. Congratulations, you've just finished another book.